Gonna do a couple quick product videos. I'm gonna roll through a couple of them all at once, but the first one is going to be the sidecar. Looks like this. This is the main shelter body itself. It's also going to come with a second stuff sack that is the suction cups. Pretty simple. This one is a little bit smaller than the one you're going to get. This was one of my prototypes, so the stuff sack's a little smaller, so you get a little bit more forgiveness getting it back in there. The suction cups, this is our design here. It's a locking suction cup, so it can basically snaps on there. Super easy, really strong. Works when your truck's dusty, which mine's filthy. All these roads are so dusty this time of year, but pretty much just wipe a little spot clean, push it on there, snap that down, and it's really strong. So that's basically it. This is what you're going to receive, plus some cordage that's going to look like this. Super similar, not quite this much. This is just what I had when I grabbed it, and some steel stakes. All of that's going to come in the package. I also have, for sake of being easy today, I'm going to use this rope because I've got line locks on it. I didn't bring any line locks for the other cordage, but I had this one in the truck, so we're going to use that one. And then I've got 2 poles from REI. These work really good for my truck. They're relatively inexpensive. They're super light. So this is what I like to use. You can use whatever you want. They're steel poles. They're quite a bit cheaper from Cabela's, Bass Pro, a few other options there. So like I said, these ones just work for my truck. I like that they're small. I just have a little stuff sack and I keep them under the back seat, and they work really good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start putting this on. I'll probably speed it up a little bit so I don't bore you with all the slow details of putting it on. But basically I start at the back of the truck. Put the first one on, pull it tight, and just work my way to the front. Whatever length your vehicle is, it should work out pretty good, depending on how long the cab is. There's a few ways you can kind of tweak it to fit your own personal vehicle. This configuration can also come off the back if you want to sleep in the bed and cover it that way, if you don't use one of our other products. So super simple to set up, and I'm going to get started on that, and I will touch base with you here in a minute. Something you'll find kind of helpful when you're setting these up is we've got a logo in the bottom right corner, so just so you can kind of figure out which direction you want this thing to go. So it's basically going to end up like this. Now the suction cups are together, you can kind of pull this out, figure out right about where those poles are going to end up. I normally just run one on each end, but there's plenty of loops, so all the way around the perimeter, so you can change this up and do quite a few different setups depending on what works for you. I normally throw a little loop in here, just drop it right over the top there, that way that can't pop off. Super easy. Pull this out to about there for now. You can really crank on these too. These suction cups are on there really well, so don't be afraid to tighten it as much as you want. Kind of go back and adjust these. I put this one not quite at the angle I want it, so I'll just pop the stake out. I'll just move this one to where it kind of optimizes the shape I want. It gets me just a little bit tighter here. That's really close. Super taut now, it's not going anywhere. Those suction cups are on there really good. This is pulled tight. Does really well in the wind. Obviously there's going to be some sort of restriction depending on how much wind you have, but there's plenty of loops going all over the place. If you wanted to guy some of these out, if you wanted to change the pitch a little bit for the rain, snow, anything like that, that's all doable too. This thing's tall. Right now it's a little over 6 foot, 6.5 foot. On the inside, this side's more like 7 on my truck. It's going to depend with your vehicle, but plenty of room under here. We sleep 2 cots this way normally. Probably could easily do them that way too. This side is right about 6.5 feet. These sides are a little over 8 feet, and then the front here is just over 13 feet. So there's plenty of real estate underneath here. A lot of room to move around. I kind of pull this camera off and give you a couple different angles. You can see it's quite large. Plenty of space under there. If you want, these are flat felled seams. If you really want to, you can come through and seam seal these with diluted silicone, basically just normal silicone with some mineral spirits to loosen that up a little bit, make it more syrupy, but plenty of room there. Cool setup, takes only a couple minutes. I was going pretty slow and that only took me, I don't know, 3 minutes or so. Awesome setup, great for overlanding. You put it on the side of your camper trailer. You can pitch it between trees if you're out doing that. Super lightweight if you wanted to carry it backpacking, even for a really large shelter for 2 people, 3 people even, depending on how you pitch it. I'll show you those suction cups up close once. Basically, to get these off, you're just gonna pull up and it releases. Put it back on, snap it on. Super strong, they're pretty cool. So those just go up and over the cab there. That's about it.